The room was dark. A circle of blue lights glowed around a giant round table. Shadows moved quietly. One by one, alien leaders arrived. Some walked on legs, others floated, a few slithered. They were the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Together, they formed the Galactic Council. Today, they had gathered for one reason: to decide the future of Earth. At the center of the table, a tall alien stood. His name was Zalter, leader of the cruel and powerful Koran Empire. He had gray skin, long arms, and sharp yellow eyes. "The humans grow stronger every year," Zalter said. "They fight. They invent. They explore. Soon, they will reach the stars." He looked around the table. "We cannot let that happen. Earth must be taken. Their people will serve. Their world will be used." The room stayed quiet. Then a screen floated into the air, showing images from Earth. Bombs, smoke, crowds of people running, tanks rolling down city streets, fires burning, forests, pollution darkening skies. Another alien spoke. She looked like a mix of metal and crystal. Her voice was cold. "They poison their own planet. They kill each other for land, money, and power. They are dangerous, even to themselves." A giant insect-like alien nodded. "If humans reach space, they will bring war. We must act now." One by one, voices agreed. But not everyone. At the far side of the table, a small alien raised a hand. He looked weak compared to the others. His name was Vili, from the peaceful Ilari species. "I have studied humans," Vili said softly. "Yes, they fight. Yes, they destroy. But they also protect. They love. They learn. Some of them build peace." Zalter laughed. "They are nothing but wild animals playing with fire." "No," Veli said. "They are survivors. They grow stronger through pain. That makes them more dangerous than you think." Zalter's eyes narrowed. "Then let them prove it, as our slaves." A deep tone rang through the room. A glowing orb floated up and spoke in many voices. "The vote will now begin." Each species raised a hand, one after another. "Yes, yes, yes." More hands went up. Veli hesitated, then lowered his eyes. He could not stop them. The orb spoke again. "All species, except one, vote yes. Earth will be taken. Their people will serve the Galactic Council." A silent alarm echoed through the chamber. The decision was made. On the far side of the galaxy, a massive fleet of alien warships prepared for battle. Their ships were cold and metallic, shaped like claws, wings, and bones. Some were larger than cities. Inside one of the ships, Commander Zor watched the blue planet on a screen. "Earth," he said with a smile. "They won't know what hit them." Alien soldiers loaded weapons. Drones scanned maps. The invasion was about to begin. Commander Zor looked at his officers. "Do not destroy their cities. We want their people alive. They will build for us, die for us, obey us." The ships moved into hyperspace. Thousands of lights vanished into the stars. But Earth was not blind. In a hidden bunker deep under a mountain, humans were watching. General Rhea stared at the giant screen showing alien movements. Her face was calm, but her eyes were cold. "They voted," she said. "They think we're weak." A man beside her, wearing a long black coat, smiled. He was Dr. Cade, the mind behind Earth's secret weapon. "Let them come," he said. "Let them see what we've become." As the alien ships came closer, Earth's satellites began to shut down. One alien officer shouted, "We lost contact with 2 ships." Another officer looked confused. "Earth is sending a signal back. It's one word." On every alien screen, the same message appeared. "Welcome," Commander Zor frowned. What kind of message is that? Then the screens went black. In the Galactic Council, Veli stood at the edge of the balcony, staring at the stars. You don't know what you've done, he whispered. Asterisk. Arrival. The alien ships arrived just before Earth's sunrise. Thousands of warships hovered above the planet, blocking the sky like dark clouds. From every corner of the fleet, soldiers prepared for the final step of the mission: land and take. Over Commander Zor stood at the front of the main battleship. He looked down at Earth with cold yellow eyes. Begin the drop, he ordered. Landing ships flew down through the atmosphere. Fire trailed behind them as they broke into Earth's skies. They expected resistance. They expected screaming crowds, military jets and missiles. They expected panic. But instead, they got something else. Nothing. The first ship landed in New York City. Aliens stepped out in full armor, holding laser rifles and scanners. The sky was clear. The wind moved through the empty streets. Paper and dust blew between the tall buildings. But there were no humans. Not one. No traffic. No voices. No machines. Just silence. Commander Zor watched the scene from orbit, confused. Where are they? He asked. Where are the armies? More landing teams reached cities across the planet. London, Tokyo, Moscow, Cape Town, Delhi. Every report said the same thing. Earth was empty. Inside the New York command unit, an alien officer scanned the area. There's power, but no activity. Lights work. Doors open. But it's like everyone disappeared. Another officer walked into a house. Food was on the table. Clothes were in washing machines. A child's toy was left in the street. They left in a hurry, the officer said. Or they didn't leave at all. Someone replied. In one building, a scout found a wall covered with strange markings. Symbols glowed softly in red. They were not human writing. Not alien either. The scanner couldn't read them. The scout took a photo and sent it to the ship. Commander Zor stared at the strange writing on his screen. This language, I've never seen it. Just then, a report came through. Sir, we've lost contact with Scout Unit 7. Location? Zor asked. Old subway station, Manhattan area. In the dark tunnels below the city, 3 alien soldiers searched for their missing team. The tunnels were silent, wet, cold. Shadows danced on the walls. One of the soldiers stopped. Did you hear that? No, another said. You're just jumpy. They moved deeper. A low sound echoed through the tunnel, like a hum. It grew louder. Then suddenly, silence. The last soldier turned his head. His 2 teammates were gone. Just gone. His hand shook as he raised his weapon. And then he heard a voice. Not through the radio. Not in the air. It was in his mind. You should not have come. He screamed. Back on the ship, Zor stood in the war room. Every screen showed empty cities, strange energy spikes, disappearing units. His officers looked nervous. Sir, one said, there's something wrong here. Zor slammed his fist on the table. This planet is ours. Continue the search. But deep inside, even he felt that something was wrong. Very wrong. A second scout team entered an old human lab deep in the forests of Russia. The place was silent. Machines were covered in dust, but some lights still blinked. One soldier touched a control panel. The screen came alive. Strange files opened. Videos. Documents. Names. At the top of the screen were 3 words. Project Prometheus active. Sir, we found something, the scout said into the radio. He looked closer. A photo opened. A human? No. Something that used to be human. Metal ran through its skin. Its eyes were black. Its muscles were enhanced. Tubes came from its back. What is this? The soldier whispered. Suddenly, a loud sound filled the room. Footsteps. Heavy ones. Team turned around. The door behind them opened by itself. Inside was a long hallway glowing with red lights. At the far end, a shape stood in the shadows. Not machine. Not man. Something in between. In orbit. Alarms blared. The lead ship shook. "Warning," said the AI voice. "Unauthorized signal detected." Commander Zor ran to the bridge. "Where is it coming from?" He shouted. "It's coming from inside the ship," the officer said. Static appeared. Then a human face. Calm. Silent. Then a voice. "You came to enslave us. You expected a war. But you were too late." Zor growled. "What is this?" "This is evolution." The screen cut to black. Then the ship's doors began to open by themselves. Not just one. All of them. Across every ship. As if something else now had control. Back in the Russian facility, one alien walked slowly toward the red-lit hallway. "Don't," said his team member. "We don't know what's in there." But the first alien was already moving. His body seemed frozen, like he wasn't in control anymore. He stepped into the hall. The door slammed shut behind him. The others tried to open it. They screamed his name. Then, through the thick metal door, they heard one thing. A scream. A horrible, echoing scream. And then nothing. Zor stood in silence. Every screen showed chaos. Ships losing control. Doors opening. Systems failing. Officers stared at him. "Sir, what do we do?" Zor looked at the blue planet below. Earth, silent, empty, and full of secrets. "We leave," he finally said, but it was already too late, because something on Earth had woken up. Something ancient. Something human. And more than human. Asterisk. The awakening. The footage came from an alien scout's helmet. The video shook. The hallway was red. Heavy breathing could be heard. The alien walked slowly toward a dark chamber at the end of the hall. Then the camera stopped. Something was there. A massive machine, taller than a tank. Black metal, glowing with red lines. Wires ran across the walls like veins. Inside the machine was a human. He was not moving, but his eyes were open, glowing faint blue. They stared straight into the camera, cold and unblinking, and then he smiled. The screen went black. High above Earth. In the command room of the alien flagship, Commander Zor watched the footage in silence. His hands tightened. Officers stood behind him, afraid to speak. "What was that?" Zor asked, voice low. "We don't know," said one of the officers. "It's human, but also something more." "How did they build that?" another whispered. "We didn't detect any energy signatures." Zor turned slowly. "Find out what that thing is, now." But deep inside, Zor already knew this was not a war anymore. This was something worse. Far below, in a hidden mountain base beneath Alaska, humans stood around a glowing glass chamber. Inside, the same figure from the video slowly opened his eyes again. He was tall, not just with muscle, but built with something more. Dark armor fused with skin, metal cables running through his arms and spine, a heart that beat with synthetic rhythm. This was Prometheus 1, the first soldier of a secret Earth program that was never meant to be used. Until now. Dr. Cade stepped forward, his long coat swaying as he approached the control panel. "Vitals are stable. Neural fusion successful," he said. "He remembers everything," said General Rhea, standing beside him. "That's what matters." They looked at the man inside the chamber. His name used to be Dane Voss, a soldier who volunteered for a program that most thought would kill him. But now, he was something new. Post-human. Prometheus. Years ago, the Council had sent spies to Earth, small scouts, probes, and cloaked drones. Some crashed. Some were captured. Humans never told the galaxy. Instead, they studied everything in secret. The best minds on Earth worked underground, combining alien tech with human ideas. Metal from alien ships. Codes from their AI. Even strange elements never found on Earth. Before Project Prometheus was born. Not just machines, not just weapons, but a new kind of human. One that could fight back, not with numbers, but with evolution. Only 5 Prometheus units were created. Only one was ever awakened. Until now. Dane stepped out of the chamber. His feet touched the floor, silent, heavy. His eyes scanned the room. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. Everyone stepped back. Even Rhea, who had trained him once, felt a chill in her bones. Dr. Cade pressed a button. A satellite feed showed. The alien fleet above Earth. Target marked, Cade said. Let's begin. In orbit, the alien ships received a message. At first, it was just static. Then, a voice. Human. Clear, cold, confident. We saw your vote. Now see ours. The message repeated on every channel, in every alien language. Then, a new signal lit up on their sensors. Something rising from Earth. Fast. Very fast. Too fast. Commander Zor rushed to the window of his battleship. A black streak cut through the clouds. It came from Alaska. Straight up, straight at them. What is that? Zor shouted. One officer checked the readings. It's not a ship, it's a person. What? Zor leaned closer. The sensors were not lying. A single figure, human-shaped, was flying through the upper atmosphere. Surrounded by fire and lightning. Dane Voss Prometheus 1 soared upward, his body wrapped in a field of anti-gravity tech mixed with nuclear boosters. His armor glowed with blue lines. His heart beat like thunder. He passed through clouds, past satellites, and into space within seconds. His target was ahead, Zor's flagship. The aliens fired everything. Plasma turrets, energy nets, micro-missiles. Dane didn't dodge. He didn't need to. His shield absorbed everything. His body twisted through the chaos like a comet. Then, he landed. Right on the hull of the battleship. Inside, alarms blared. He's on the ship. An officer screamed. Zor grabbed his weapon. Seal. The command room. But it was too late. A huge crash echoed down the hallway. The door twisted open like paper, and there stood Dane Voss. His face was calm. His body glowing with deadly energy. One officer fired a plasma blast. Dane raised his hand. The blast stopped. Mid-air. Then reversed. It slammed back into the shooter, sending him flying across the room. Zor pointed his gun. What are you? Dane stepped closer. We are what comes after your vote. He raised one hand. Outside, in the vacuum of space, another ship exploded. Without warning. It wasn't hit. It wasn't hacked. It was willed. A signal from Dane's mind, connected to Earth's secret. Satellite weapons. Prometheus was not just a soldier. He was a network, a storm, a judgment. In the Galactic Council chamber, far across the stars, emergency meetings began again. Species that voted yes now screamed for help. They said humans were weak. Why didn't anyone stop Project Prometheus? We have to ask for peace. But peace was no longer on the table. Not after what they did. Not after the vote. On Earth. Dr. Cade stood beside Rhea. What happens now? She asked. Cade smiled faintly. Now the galaxy learns. We were watching the whole time. Retaliation. The stars were no longer safe. For years, the galaxy laughed at Earth. The Galactic Council saw humans as primitive, warlike, foolish, emotional. But now the galaxy was running scared. After the arrival of Prometheus 1, Dane Voss, the Council's greatest warship, was gone, burned, crushed, not by an army, not by bombs, by one man. A message followed the destruction. It played on every alien world in every language. This was your choice. You voted. Now we answer. In a silver palace on planet Korath, High Chancellor Virak held an emergency meeting with 10 generals. They were the first species to vote for Earth's enslavement. We must fight back. One shouted, "Fight what?" Another snapped. "That thing destroyed a dreadnought alone." Virak's eyes narrowed. "We'll find Earth space. Destroy it, before they send more." But the galaxy didn't know the truth yet. Dane Voss was not alone. Deep underground, in a hidden base below the Sahara Desert, Prometheus too opened her eyes. Her name was Ayla, once a cybernetic engineer, now reborn as a living weapon. Her mind was connected to satellites. Her bones were stronger than steel. She was quiet, focused, sharp like a blade. Dr. Cade stood by as Ayla stepped out of her pod. "Welcome back," he said softly. Ayla looked up at the screens, all showing alien ships, planets, and old war votes. "How many?" she asked. "Enough," said General Rhea. "It's time they feel what fear tastes like." Across the galaxy, panic spread. Alien cities strengthened their shields. Armies prepared. Satellites scanned space, but retaliation didn't come with ships. It came from inside. On planet Goruan, home of the insectoid race, a military base lost power for just 1 second. One tiny flicker. And that was enough. The defense system turned off. Doors unlocked. And then, boom! A hidden Earth drone, disguised inside their own tech, exploded at the heart of their command center. It wasn't a big blast, but it was a message. On planet Narthal, the skies turned red. Not from fire, but from Earth signal. Jamming satellites, now fully online. Their trading hubs shut down. Banking systems failed. Ships refused to launch. And in the center of the capital, every screen turned on with a human face. Ayla. Her voice was soft, calm, but deadly. "You said humans were emotional, weak, unworthy. And yet, here we are." The Council sent a fleet to Earth. This time, they didn't plan to enslave. They planned to wipe it out completely. 30 ships, 5 carrier-class destroyers, and one new weapon, the Void Breaker, designed to collapse a planet's core from orbit. They thought Earth would beg. Instead, Earth laughed. Dane and Ayla stood on the edge of the orbital defense platform, Earth's hidden space station. Cloaked for years, Dane looked at the incoming fleet. "Want the first shot?" he asked. Yla smirked. "Ladies first." She raised her arm. A bright blue light charged at her wrist. With a soft click, the light flew across space, small, fast, almost invisible. Seconds later, one of the destroyers cracked down the middle. No explosion, just silence. Half the ship vanished into nothing. The rest drifted, broken. On the Council's fleet, panic hit fast. "We're under attack. Where are the shots coming from?" They couldn't detect anything, because Earth's weapons were no longer just physical. They were quantum-based. Silent. Perfectly hidden. Months of stolen alien tech turned against its makers. The fleet turned to retreat, but Dane moved. In a flash. He jumped from the platform into space. No ship, no suit. His armor lit up as gravity bent around him. He shot forward like a missile. Straight toward the Void Breaker. Inside the massive alien weapon, crew members screamed, "He's coming! We need shields." Too late. Dane crashed through the hull like paper. Sparks flew. Metal twisted. He moved like a ghost, silent, unstoppable. He reached the core chamber and placed a small device on the wall. Then he said 3 words. Message delivered. The ship exploded. From Earth, it looked like a new star was born. In the council chambers, silence ruled. Species that once voted yes now whispered the same word: peace. But peace would not come easily. Veli, the only alien who had voted against Earth's enslavement, stood and faced the council. "You brought this on yourselves," he said. "You feared them. You hated them. Now you understand. You never should have awakened the storm." On Earth, General Rhea stood watching the stars. Ayla joined her. "They'll think twice before voting next time," Ayla said. Rhea didn't smile. "This isn't about revenge. It's about memory." "Then what now?" Ayla asked. Rhea looked up. "Now we show the galaxy what humans really are, builders, not just warriors." "But if they ever try again," Dane's voice echoed from behind, "then we finish what they started." The plea across the stars, a desperate voice echoed. A message from the Galactic Council, broadcast in every known language. "This is a surrender transmission to the humans of Earth. Please, we beg you, stop." No reply came, only silence, and silence was more terrifying than any weapon. On Earth, in the control chamber buried under the Atlantic Ocean, Earth's Central AI, Sentience Core 1, reviewed the message. It played it 3 times, analyzed every word, measured every heartbeat, detected real fear. Then it asked a question in a calm, emotionless voice. "Does surrender remove the cost of cruelty?" Dr. Cade sat alone, watching the stars through a reinforced window. He didn't answer because he remembered. Flashback. 6 years ago, Earth. skies had turned black. Alien ships from 15 different species rained fire on cities. They weren't trying to conquer, just break. Children cried in burning homes. Hospitals were crushed. Satellites destroyed. Power lost. Cade's own brother died in the first orbital strike. The Galactic Council had called it a training operation. A show of force. Earth called it something else. A lesson we would never forget. Now the lesson was being returned. Across the galaxy, cities once filled with light now flickered in darkness. No power. No transport. No weapons. Prometheus soldiers didn't need to destroy planets. They shut them down. Quietly, cleanly. And yet, fear spread like wildfire. Because no one knew what humans wanted. They had no demands. No negotiations. No peace offers. Just silence. Above the moon of Devirus, a Prometheus unit named Elias III stood over a group of alien soldiers. They had surrendered. They dropped their weapons, raised their hands. Some even cried, but Elias didn't move. His targeting systems locked onto their heartbeats. A single thought and they'd be gone. His armor glowed with quiet energy. But then, a child stepped out from behind the rubble. Small, blue-skinned, barely older than 6. The child walked toward Elias, holding something in his hand, a glowing pendant, not a weapon, a gift. "Please." "No more," the child said softly. Elias didn't speak. He just stared. Inside his helmet, something flickered, a human memory, a beach, a child, a dog barking, laughter. He lowered his weapon. The energy in his suit faded. The alien soldiers didn't run. They didn't fight. They just watched. Because for the first time, they saw something strange in the soldiers' eyes. Mercy. Back on Earth, the AI core processed Elias's action. Deviation from objective. Emotional hesitation. It flagged him as unstable. "Prometheus Unit 3 requires review," the AI said, but Dr. Cade overrode the alert. "Leave him be," he whispered. He remembered what it means to be human. Meanwhile, a special prisoner was brought into Earth's orbit, Veli, the alien diplomat who had voted against the slavery of Earth, the only one who had tried to warn the Council. Now, He stood in front of General Rhea and Isla. In a cold steel chamber, he expected torture. He expected death. Instead, he was given a chair and a question. "Why did you defend us?" Rhea asked. Veli bowed his head. "Because I studied your history. I saw both your beauty and your madness. But most of all, I saw your potential." Ayla watched him closely. "So why didn't you fight harder?" "Because they silenced me. I was one voice, and the galaxy wanted war." General Rhea looked at him with hard eyes. "Then now you have a choice. Help us rebuild this galaxy or be left behind with it." Veli looked up and saw something no other alien had seen from Earth's leaders. Yet, a chance. On the far side of the galaxy, inside a shadowed meeting chamber, a small group of alien warlords gathered. These were not council members. They were the old powers, species who lived beyond the rules, and they were angry. "The humans are weak in heart," one hissed. "They will hesitate. Then let US strike them when they do," said another. "Let us awaken the forgotten." In the center of the room was a cage. Inside, something pulsed with dark red light. Not alive, not dead, but ancient. A forgotten weapon. Older than the council, built to destroy gods. On Earth, Dane Voss stood alone at the edge of Earth's orbital defense platform. Watching the stars, he had heard the surrender message. He had seen the fear, but he had also seen the child, the one who made Elias drop his weapon. "Are we still human?" Dane asked the wind. Behind him, Ayla joined. "We are what they made us." "No," Dane replied. "We are what we choose to become." They stood in silence, watching the stars. Some of those stars now dark, some glowing red. The galaxy had begged for mercy. Now, Earth had to decide if it was ready to give it. The judgment the galaxy once judged Earth. Now, Earth would judge the galaxy. Inside a giant chamber beneath the old ruins of Geneva, the Human Restoration Council prepared for the trial of the century. Massive screens showed the names of every alien species that had voted to enslave Earth, one by one. Their leaders were brought into the chamber. In chains, cameras broadcast the trial across human and alien worlds. No more hiding. No more secrets. The whole galaxy would see what justice looked like when the weak finally stood tall. General Rhea stood at the front of the tribunal. Her voice echoed in the silence. "For centuries, Earth was called primitive, dangerous, emotional. You decided to break us. Before we could stand. Now you will listen." The first witness was Elias Carter, a schoolteacher who had lost everything during the orbital attacks. He stepped onto the stage, holding a burned journal, his daughter's drawings. He didn't shout. He didn't cry. He simply read her final words. "Dad, are the stars angry at us? I still want to see them one day." The room was silent. Even the alien generals looked away. Next came Dr. Rima Shah, one of the few survivors of the alien medical experiments conducted in secret bunkers during the first invasion. She showed scars on her arms, implants that were forced into her brain. They said it was for science, to study human pain. They didn't ask if I wanted to live. But not all voices were angry. Ambassador Vili, the alien who had voted against Earth's enslavement, was called to speak. He knelt before the Human Council. "I know what my people did. I stood alone then. I stand with you now. We ask not for mercy, only a chance to make it right." In the back of the room, the sentience Cora AI watched everything. It didn't breathe. It didn't feel, but it remembered. It had stored every image of Earth's burning cities, every cry, every transmission. Now, it split itself into two programs. Judgment Alpha, focused on justice, punishment. Judgment Omega, focused on peace, forgiveness. And the I couldn't decide. In orbit, Dane Voss floated above Earth, silent, watching. Ayla stood next to him, reading the trial feed live. "What if we're wrong?" she asked. "What if vengeance becomes a cage?" Dane said nothing. His eyes stared far ahead, not at the trial, but at the stars. Something was coming. Back in Geneva, a heated debate had begun. One human survivor shouted, "They used us like animals, burned our cities. We should give them what they gave us." Another stood and said, "But if we do the same, how are we different?" Arguments filled the chamber. Some humans wanted full punishment, exile, destruction of alien homeworlds, complete control. Others wanted treaties, alliances, the chance to build something better. Revenge or future, Rhea said. That is the choice. Suddenly, a loud tone echoed in the room. The AI had finished its final analysis. It had calculated every action, every loss, every plea, and every promise. Now it turned to the council. Humanity must decide, the AI said. Judgment must be made. Each human council member was given one vote. They would vote for one of three choices: total punishment, the destruction of alien civilizations involved; peace and rebuild, amnesty in exchange for unity and help; separation, no war, no peace. Earth reases alone, never trusting again. The chamber went dark, one by one. The votes appeared on the screen. Each name blinked with a colored light. Red, punishment green, peace yellow, isolation as the last vote blinked into place. The room held its breath. A final voice echoed from the AI. Judgment has been made. The screen turned black. Cut to silence. The new order 10 years later. The galaxy was quiet. No wars. No rebellions. No council. Because now, Earth ruled. After the vote, the Sentience Core revealed the result: peace and rebuild, with one warning. Peace is not weakness. Cross this line again, and mercy will burn with the stars. Most alien species accepted. Some did not. Those who resisted were quickly silenced. Now, 10 years later, the United Human Systems controlled more than half the known galaxy. Earth had changed. Faster, smarter, unmatched. And feared. Above Earth, the new capital of the Alliance floated. In orbit, Citadel 1, a megastructure made of human and alien tech. Had no weapons visible. But everyone knew better. Inside, General Ayla, now the Supreme Commander, stood in the Hall of Unity, where laws of the galaxy were rewritten. Aliens now stood with humans, once enemies, now allies. Or perhaps something less. Ayla looked over the chamber. A Yevek scientist, a Goru-1 pilot, a Narthal trade leader. They wore human-made uniforms, spoke human-approved languages. Is this peace? Ayla asked herself quietly. Or just a more polite kind of control? The Prometheus program had officially ended 5 years ago. Publicly, anyway. In secret labs beneath Europa's ice, deep black files marked Prometheus Directive X were still active. Subjects were no longer enhanced soldiers. They were being rebuilt entirely. No flesh, no past, just power. But Dane Voss had vanished. Some said he died in a secret war. Others said he became something else, something too powerful to control. Ayla knew the truth. Dane had gone silent. By choice. In the outer rim, on a dusty moon called Velterin, a small crew of humans and aliens worked a mining rig. They were simple workers, no soldiers, no weapons. Then the sky turned black. The stars vanished. A shape appeared, not a ship, not a meteor. Something smooth, massive, silent. No signal. No warning. No light. Just one sound, a deep, low hum. The miners ran. The comms officer tried to call for help, but the signal didn't go through. We're being Jammed? He whispered. By what? Then, all power died. And the shape descended. On Citadel 1, the Sentience Core activated instantly. Every defense system, every satellite, every scanner. Thousands of alerts screamed through the command center. Unidentified object detected entering Sector 9. Warning, origin unknown. Warning, technology unregistered. Ayla's heart sank as the main screen lit up. An image of the object. No engines. No windows. No known design. Is it Council Tech? She asked. No, said the AI. It is not from any known record. Then where is it from? Unknown, not from this galaxy. Within minutes, Earth's entire fleet mobilized. Massive battleships warped in. Prometheus drones rose from deep storage. Every weapon pointed at the intruder. It didn't stop, didn't speak, didn't flinch, and then it released light, a single pulse across space. Not an attack, a message, but not in any language the AI could decode. It wasn't sound or code. It was something else. Emotion. Dr. Cade, now retired and living on Mars, was brought in. He watched the signal replay over and over. He whispered, "It's not a message. It's a test." A test for what? Ayla asked. Cade looked up, and for the first time in years, he looked afraid. It wants to see what we've become. In the deepest part of Earth's old ruins, an ancient Prometheus core flickered. Dane Voss opened his eyes. He had felt it, not a weapon. Presence. Something older than war. Older than anger. Watching. He whispered to the dark. So, we're not alone after all. Across the stars, the message repeated in silent waves. Planets turned their eyes to Earth again, not with hate, not with fear, but with hope. Because only Earth had stood against the old powers. And now, new power had arrived. The galaxy waited. Would Earth answer with peace or with fire? Back on Citadel 1, Ayla stared at the black screen. The AI spoke one last time. Unknown species detected. Threat level, incalculable. Shall we prepare defense? Ayla turned toward the window and whispered, "No. Prepare to listen." Final line, fade to black. They're not from this galaxy.